Hello, I'm Stephen Phipson, the Chief Executive of MakeUK, and I'm delighted to be with you today as part of the Smart Connected Manufacturing Conference to discuss the importance of these crucial technologies to UK manufacturers. And I'd like to thank the Tommy Flowers Network for putting together such an interesting programme of events. So before I start, a little about MakeUK. We are the national business representative body for manufacturers, and of the 2.7 million people employed in UK manufacturing, we represent over 1 million of them through our 22,000 members, 32 universities and 50 plus trade bodies that are members of our organisation. So as the representative body for manufacturing, MakeUK's role is to do all we can to raise the importance of the sector and to ensure the right environment is created to ensure UK manufacturing not only thrives but also grows. From the first industrial revolution to the fourth, manufacturing has been the UK's economic engine and its source of innovation, wealth and prosperity. We remain one of the world's top 10 manufacturing nations, and we are a larger part of the economy than either the financial services or construction sectors. It's worth considering just how valuable manufacturing is to UK PLC. The sector is worth £273 billion to the UK economy, and as I said, employs 2.7 million people, but in high quality and well-paid jobs. It accounts for well over half of the UK's total exports to the world, and every one job in manufacturing supports a further 1.4 jobs across other industries. So looking back at 2020, it was a year in which the contribution of manufacturing was never more critical. As the pandemic first hit in March, manufacturers up and down the UK were amongst the first to step forward to help. From those companies participating in the ventilator challenge to businesses who repurposed and turned over their facilities to make PPE, disinfectants, sanitizers and other essentials. Manufacturers ensured that the wheels kept turning, shelves remained stocked, and our people were able to work safely. Manufacturers stepped up to the plate in their thousands during this period. And we're here today to talk about opportunities in digitalisation. So it's worth taking a moment to consider how critical the use of industrial digital technologies, or IDTs, was to this effort. Digital collaboration between manufacturers was extensively and successfully used during the ventilator challenge. New additive manufacturing techniques were particularly used at the beginning of the ventilator challenge as the consortium came together to rapidly prototype parts and test manufacturing setups. It was also used to support rapid training, in some cases again digitally, of assembly teams in particular, which were drawn from other sectors and had no real experience in assembling life-saving devices. Within 12 hours, the consortium teams could have the parts in their hands and be able to understand it. This to me illustrated clearly that these technologies need to be at the heart of smart and sustainable modern manufacturing. Cutting design is important, and lead times, significant reductions there, is all about responding to these urgent needs and changes in the market. And there is scope to do more. UK manufacturers consistently demonstrate their ingenuity and resilience, providing technological solutions to the biggest societal challenges we face. From healthcare to climate change, clean transport and green energy, manufacturers are leading the way. Over the last year, we've set out our ambition to support manufacturers in building a digital, global and green future. By backing UK manufacturing, we have shown that it is manufacturers who are leading the charge in adopting digitalisation, and the pandemic has only really accelerated this. Within a couple of weeks last March, almost everyone had to learn how to use, to some extent, new digital technologies. In a way, the restrictions of the pandemic brought forward the adoption of some digital technologies into everyday business life. Even the most conservative leaders had to adapt quickly to implement remote and flexible working and using new digital platforms to communicate and carry out basic business tasks. On-site production changed in some areas with the acceleration of use of virtual and augmented reality and other IDTs. Our recent report, which is called the Innovation Monitor, Bouncing Back Smarter, shows that 80% of manufacturers now believe that industrial digital technologies will be a reality in their business by 2025, which is a great step forwards from previous years. Moreover, an increasing number, around 13%, are now in the revolution stage of adopting this technology, and far fewer, around 11%, now remain in the preconception phase, So we're moving in the right direction. However, our research also shows that we need to overcome some barriers because adoption of IDTs is not across the board. For example, 45% of manufacturers are aware of the benefits of using predictive maintenance. It both reduces costs of maintenance and increases productivity, but very few are adopting it. Why is this the case? Well, firstly, a lack of digital skills and technical knowledge are the main barriers preventing businesses from starting on the fourth industrial revolution journey. Also growing in importance is access to finance, driven somewhat by the economic downturn from the pandemic, where businesses took on debt to survive, limiting their capacity to invest. Not knowing where to get the right advice and information also remains a barrier that many SMEs face. This is despite the excellent work of the Catapults and the Made Smarter initiative. The challenge we have now is to reach the tens of thousands of SMEs that are in the sector. There are many platforms through which SMEs can seek support, but for many SMEs, they can be confusing and misleading. When it comes to access to funding support, our innovation monitor found that 76% of manufacturers were not aware of the many available schemes nationally. The government funding schemes are often not easy to understand for a busy owner of an SME, and it's clear that the application processes are too complex and need to be simplified. There is a clear need for a greater sense of place in this area. SMEs tend to be engaged at a local level. It's through the work with their local LEPs and the local authorities that we can have the best effect in helping SMEs to understand the support which is available. Again, Made Smarter has demonstrated the importance of place through the success of the pilot scheme in the Northwest. It's encouraging to see that despite the challenges of last year, 70% of manufacturers do want to invest and are planning to increase their research and development over the next 2 years. This is really positive. Such investment means manufacturing can create more high quality, well-paid jobs for vibrant communities across the country. There is a lot that government can provide in terms of support, and whilst the range of support is useful, it can be, as we said before, misleading, very often compared to a postcode lottery, with inconsistent programs depending on the level of local support available. We must make this local support more consistent and more effective. One important answer to this is one that MakeUK has been calling for, the national rollout of the Made Smarter programme. We welcome the recent rollout in 3 additional areas. Our recent report shows that 20% of small businesses in the Northwest area where the Made Smarter pilot operated are in the revolution phase of adoption, second only to the Southeast at 33%. This demonstrates that the model is working and makes the case for its rollout nationally to make bespoke, dedicated support to manufacturing SMEs consistently available across the country. Another support mechanism which MakeUK members have pointed to is connecting and collaborating with other SMEs and local universities. Case studies and the abilities to learn from others are highly effective in persuading SMEs to embark on digital transformation themselves. While many have developed effective links with local universities, the appetite for action amongst some universities themselves differs depending on strategy, history and funding. Again, an inconsistent approach. At MakeUK, we are really keen to promote the importance of great relationships between manufacturers and universities, and we want to work with the government and Made Smarter to gather and promote case studies and mentoring opportunities for these businesses, building on those already identified as part of the Made Smarter Northwest adoption pilot. So companies are making progress in this area, but we must build on this momentum, address the barriers that manufacturers face, and accelerate plans for adoption of IDTs so businesses of all sizes can reap the benefits. Government and industry have a role to play. Industry must lead the way in showcasing best practice and take advantage of the support available to get them further down the digital road. Government must put in place the right fiscal incentives to support investment in digitalisation, roll out its groundbreaking Made Smarter pilot to the rest of the UK, increase R&D spending, focusing on the D part of R&D to help the UK manufacturing power ahead to the top of the global stage, and of course, support the revolution we need in upskilling the workforce in digital skills. We know that manufacturers are continuing to adapt to these changing times. altering production processes, increasing investment in digital and green technologies, and embracing new ways of working for many employees. These are profound changes, likely to stay even as we move beyond our current challenges. Contrary to the suggestions of a return to normal, we know that our members intend on building on these new ways of working, recognizing that improving agility and resilience in an environment where shocks and uncertainty are increasing in frequency will be imperative to future success. In 2021, we are looking to create a future that puts UK manufacturing front and centre of a renewed industrial base in the UK, a future that will support UK manufacturers to create high quality jobs, a future which adapts to and embraces the new trading environment to ensure that the UK manufacturing can compete on the global stage, and a future that allows manufacturers to build a digital yet sustainable future for generations to come. Thank you.